Yo, what is up, everybody? Episode 113. We have a special guest, and he gets to
drop that beat.
Drop that beat, stuck experience. Rest on the road when it all it is. So fuck terrorism, come beat. Set a club like, hey, yeah, let's speak.
I don't know about you. Can you guess who our special guest is? Anna, what up?
Oh, I can totally guess. But I also can see him, so that's kind of cheating, isn't it?
Yep.
Chuck, we're so excited to have you back on the show.
What's up, guys? So nice to be here.
You're at least a three-peat offender at this point.
Three-peat.
Is
Wow.
this our first?
It might actually be 4. I'm not sure at this point.
Oh, 4.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so, because I think we've interviewed him at the headquarters twice, or have. And then I know we interviewed him in eBay Open in Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah, that was
And
that's
then-
probably the fourth time then.
Yeah, and then we probably had. Oh yeah, we had probably a online interview with him, and then, but this is the first. This is the first.
Why
So-
is that, Ken?
Why?
Oh, because guys, this time we get to interview the full-time Chuck.
What?
Full-time eBay seller, former eBay employee.
Oh,
Chuck Van Pelt. And if you have been listening to this show, you know and love Chuck as much as we do. But Chuck, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Today, we're back into our little series about best practices for beginners. And you're kind of in a perfect position to talk about this right now. Do you want to tell a little bit about that?
I am, yeah, and I would love to talk about it. So, there's a cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
Oh, wow, well, that sounds like a.
to prove
that-
my legitimacy.
yeah, that's definitely
not a
a.
soundboard. That was a legit
No,
cha-ching.
that was a real eBay cha-ching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like a full-time full-time
A full-time
yeah,
cha-ching.
yeah, that's a
It
full.
was a full-time cha-ching.
Yeah.
As opposed to a part-time cha-ching, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we're talking about.
So, so what these guys are talking about is, I'm formerly an eBay employee. I worked at eBay for 10 years, in various roles, but my most enjoyable role was probably the last 4 or 5 years where I was a seller advocate. And, really, it's of all the things I've done in my career, it was the thing I enjoyed the most was engaging with sellers and
Being our hero.
being your hero. Well, I'm glad I was your hero because I was
Right, yes, you
trying
were.
to make it better, and
Mhm.
I still want to do that. So I didn't have a falling out with eBay. I still
Yeah.
love eBay with all of my heart. It's a lovely company. I think the product is amazing, but in my life felt like it was time for a change. I wanted to pivot. I've been probably in the last 3 or 4 years of my tenure at eBay, I was generally in the top 3 eBay employees by sales volume of people who sold on the platform.
Mm.
So I've
Interesting.
got
That's about as long as you've known us.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
Oh, I wonder
I
if
think that
you.
you inspired me.
Just kidding.
He was getting tips. All those interviews was Chuck asking tips on how to sell
I was
better on
learning how to
eBay.
do it
Not at all.
Sure.
You've been crushing it for a long time
know,
as a
yeah.
part-time seller.
Well,
for
I'll tell
sure.
you what. I mean, it's interesting you bring that up because I think that you can learn something from any seller, even
Right.
a new seller, but you have to listen and be open, and that's if you leave with anything today, do
Right.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always some interesting advice, and I had the privilege of actually visiting Ken at his home with my son, who runs our eBay business with me, and he still talks about all the things he learned from you and all the just how you had things set up from your physical space to how things were organized to your workflow, and we stole all your ideas. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Hey.
I was like,
and-
either you stole all the ideas or you're rolling your eyes every time he's like, remember when Ken said this?
yeah.
But
No,
Ken said...
and also, and again, and you talk about learning from other people. I came into reselling through social media and YouTube and Instagram, and that's all I did. I just looked at like, this is my shipping station, this is my this is how I take photos, and out of that, we just innovate and steal some here and there, and then replicate some, and
Yeah.
that's kind of like how our space become. But pretty cool to get to interview somebody, Chuck, that we met in San Jose, and that's one of the things that you were really good at. And then us, we really feel and saw that an eBay employee person really cared about sellers and stuff like that, and that was really like you were definitely a big part of the buy-in and why we wanted to do all the things with eBay and stuff like that, because there are really legit people behind the company that cares for sellers. So that's
Yes.
one.
And there still are, even
there
though
still
you're
are.
not working.
Yeah, it's just minus
But-
one, right? It's just minus
Right,
one,
just
right?
minus
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Yeah.
Mine is a really, really good one. I mean,
Yeah.
I was just thinking too, Ken, as you were saying that about, learning from other sellers, learning from other people. I think ever since I met Chuck for the first time, every like seller check-in, eBay open, like any event where there's any kind of training at all, and Chuck, or especially Chuck and Jonathan together, are doing
Yep.
a session, I am in that session.
Yep.
I am always learning something from those, taking notes. So I mean, I probably can't even count the number of things I've learned from you personally, like over the last few years. So
Well,
thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you guys. It's very nice compliments.
Mhm.
And it's nice to know that we were making a difference.
Right.
When I say we, Jonathan Chard is still at eBay, and he
Yeah.
was kind of my partner in crime there. The crime being making eBay's sellers sell more.
Yes.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
criminal. Ken
Right.
always refers to you guys as the peanut butter and jelly of eBay. So
Well, still
our
the peanut butter
longtime
and jelly.
listeners have
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
us say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So again, in the topic of the beginners, we were just talking off air, and I always try to come up with jokes, and you guys gotta take it easy. Chuck is a rookie at this full-time gig, so don't be too hard on him and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Well,
Don't be too hard.
I feel like right now for me, well, just to sort of round out my story. So I did
Right.
leave eBay in November, and I'm selling full time now. Kind of through a transitional period through the end of the year. Picking Q4 to do this was a little weird, but yeah. I did it. I got through it. So now I'm really leaning into this idea of scaling. Like I want the business to grow. I want to understand where my time is best spent.
Yes.
I'm taking a lot of my own advice that I've given other sellers about what to care about and what to let go.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had a nickel for every time I told a seller, why do you get so upset when somebody, scams you once? You sold 1,000 things and one person kind of, the transaction went sideways, and you're literally like, you pulled me aside at this event to like have this conversation with me about it. Like it really was meaningful to you. And I'm just curious why, are you spending so much time
Right.
building guardrails in your business for this scenario that almost never happens?
Right.
And now that I'm only doing this, I get it. Like you're like, man, this is so much more meaningful now because it's my only revenue. Like
Would you
it's my
use-
only income.
Would you use all of those nickels to buy some really good guardrails for your business?
Maybe. Well, as it turns out, the guardrail is knowing when you don't need to pay for guardrails. Like when you just need to let things go,
Yes.
both emotionally.
Just refund it.
And
That is some hard won wisdom right there. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that you're here with us today, because that is exactly why, like, so you are actually a rookie at scaling, right? And it is your first time being full time like this, and
yeah,
even if it wasn't, you are in a new phase of your life. So
Right.
yeah.
there are learning curves left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And yet you do bring with you all of this wisdom and you've probably listened and problem solved and brainstormed and helped and advocated more than like anyone, right?
Yeah.
So you have all
Yeah.
of that to bring with you, which is super cool.
So before we move on, I want to like to give a context or paint a picture for the listeners. Chuck, can you just explain a little bit about what you sell on eBay, and maybe we talk about scaling, like what's your store like? How many listings do you have right now? Like, are you like trying to where are you operating out of? Are you like at capacity with
Yeah, what's
your
the thumbnail
current setup?
sketch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great. I'm glad you brought this up,
Yeah.
Ken. Yeah, I think it'll be important for everyone to have a
Yeah.
little bit of background who don't know me already.
Yeah.
So my eBay store is called Recycled Gadgets,
Mm.
and that
Pretty
is
pretty good name. Pretty good name.
kind of my. Thank you. That's kind of my. It describes accurately what the business is about. I
Okay.
don't do clothes. I don't do categories like streetwear, shoes like
Yeah.
you do. I don't do as much like glassware or decorative stuff. It's very much vintage electronics and things like that, pop culture stuff.
Yeah, media.
My biggest category right now, and we were just talking about this before the show, kind of came out of nowhere. I just recently started having an interest in wristwatches, and so of course the way my mind works, I'm like, how can I monetize this with my business? So that's what I did.
Naturally.
Yeah. Well, as it turns out, I have my own watch collection, and I like watches a lot. Like even watches that only cost $20. Like I like those as much as more expensive watches. But I'm learning that when you build a watch collection, a lot of it is just getting something, seeing if you like it, and then if you don't like it, then there's an opportunity to make a sale or even
move it along.
Profit. Exactly. So then I discovered that in my role as a gadget recycler, I'm pretty good at fixing stuff, and I've done that in the rest of my business as well, with vintage computer things and old video game systems. And for years, video games were my largest category by a long shot. It was like half my business, and now it's almost none of my business.
Wow.
But I applied this technical knowledge to watches, and I find it so gratifying and satisfying to repair wristwatches and bring them back. And so I also discovered that you can buy non-working watches very inexpensively.
Yes.
And very inexpensively make them working and then sell them. So right now, watches are my biggest category.
Inexpensively in terms of like buying parts or time or both?
Well, parts. The time is, boy, that's always the most valuable asset that my business has. Even with my son working with me in the business, he's 23. He doesn't have that knowledge or aptitude or desire to fix things or prep them for sale.
Yeah.
He's really good at the logistics and the shipping and all that part of the business. And so he runs that. So it's really just me. Yeah. And any minute that I spend doing some nonsense that I shouldn't be doing is just taking money out of my pocket. And I try to think of it that way.
Yeah. Well, that is I have a question for you about that then, because I think just like we discovered in our part A of this series, very often the best practices for beginners are things to do and things not to do. So not wasting your time is pretty important when you're running any business. Yeah. But like, how do you decide, like, what's your thought process about when something's worth the elbow grease or like the experiment or just the time, if you already have a good idea of how much time it will take to get it in working order or selling, in a sellable condition? How do you decide that?
That's a great question. Well, the watch category is a little new for me still, so I make a lot of mistakes. So the first thing I've done is make it okay for me to make mistakes.
Right.
But I also don't make the same mistake multiple times.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I've gotten really good at looking at, if I bought a bunch of watches in bulk, a bag of them, I can go through pretty quick and put them into one of three categories. Garbage, a watch that needs work but is valuable,
Mm-hmm.
and then a watch that is almost ready for
So
list.
Yeah.
And so even though it's maybe only a $50 watch, it's only going to take me 5 or 10 minutes to get ready for sale. So I should just do it and get that revenue. And so just figuring out what those 3 categories were took me months.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to figure
Experience
out
taught you, basically.
Exactly. So that's the category that is still in its formative stages for me. I also sell media, as you mentioned earlier. Records, tapes, and CDs is a category that is just blowing up for me hugely. And then cameras is probably one of my top 5 categories. That maybe this will tell you a little bit about me and my business and how I approach things and why time is such a valuable commodity for me. Is I have in my garage a massive death pile of cameras, massive. And my goal was originally to prepare that for the holidays. I wanted to blow it all out these holidays, but life gets in the way. You know, I had this career change and some stuff going on in my family and some other things, and so I didn't have that much time to put into it. And then I also got interested in the watch category, and that sort of took over the time I was going to use to do the cameras. So now I have like a large amount of capital tied up in these cameras that are not doing anything for me right now.
And still require some tinkering, perhaps.
Some do, yeah. Again, it's like the watches, like I described. There's ready for sale,
kind of graded,
There's needs a battery or another part ordered. There's needs a little tinkering, and then there's like these will never work, so blot them up and sell them as parts only.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 or 4 categories I need to divide them into. But man, with cameras, boy, it takes a lot to go through and do that evaluation.
Yeah.
So I've decided with my business, the model that's been most successful for me is I try to get top dollar, and the way I do that is by upfront prep work and my processing of inbound things is to clean them and process them in a way that is exceeding all my competitors. And then my photography is in the top 5%. Like, it's really good. And then I've used Chat GPT and written a lot of custom GPTs for each category I sell in that will write really good listings and descriptions for me, where I can literally drag pictures into the window and it's just like cranks out. Which, maybe raises a question about why some other companies aren't able to write such really good AI for their listings. I don't know. I'm not talking about any particular company.
I've had that question.
Yeah, because the technology is there, and I don't know if you guys are doing that.
But
I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but those are the things that I use to dial in my listings and get myself, like, whatever money I spend paying for Chat GPT every month comes back to me 20 times in the how much quicker I can list and how the quality of my listing, so I can command the highest prices. And I get compliments all the time on that stuff. Like, when I sell CDs, I don't do the generic CD photo. I take 5 pictures of every CD. Evan does. And I get compliments all the time. I bought from you because I could read the track listing, I could see the condition, I could read the liner notes, I could do all of it.
All the details. So you have an undeniable listing, which you and Ken have in common.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I tried to implement, which is, I think, a good advice for everybody. What one thing that's very controllable in an eBay listing is your photos. Is your presentation, right? The first impression. And that's one of the things that me and my wife JC does, is we clean the shoes. Even if it's brand new, there's some dust that gets in there. there's some certain, kind of like the tongue doesn't sit right, so I have like a shoe tree that goes in every shoe, like more of like the mesh ones kind of like fall flat up front. So I 100% agree, and it's a great tip. I think we're gonna make this very conversational, but I think we're just gonna pinpoint all the great tips that we hear in this conversation, that
Mm-hmm.
we all gotta, put our best foot forward as far as just the appearance of our listing, because it doesn't matter how much ads that you put on a terrible listing. As a matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably just gonna hurt you, right?
Yeah.
As somebody that has sponsored listings that has terrible photos, nobody's gonna click on that. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna beat you in the best match.
Yeah.
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 I tell people all the time, like, okay, where are you going to focus your time per listing? And I've had
Yeah.
sellers tell me it takes me 15 minutes to list every item. eBay's terrible. And I'm like, okay, 15 minutes. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
What are you
look,
spending
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
15
what
minutes
it
on?
is, I think a lot of them are falling into the item specifics trap.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Of, like,
trap's a strong word, but I think
Egregious. Yeah. Ones that
they're
don't
made
matter.
to feel like that's where they should spend their time. Spend your
No.
time first on photos. Number one,
Yeah. Yeah.
good photos, good lighting. Spend time teaching yourself how to take good photos.
Yeah.
Man, the lighting is so cheap now. It's
Right, yeah.
insane. You can get really a great setup for next to nothing.
Yeah.
Then your title next. If you make a title that says blue shoes, and that's all, and then you put 20% promoted listings on it, you're not going to sell it. It's like,
Yeah.
Right.
it's not going to work.
Now,
for you.
blue suede shoes.
Blue suede
That's
shoes
a whole other
might
story. No,
work.
I'm just kidding. That
Since
won't
you have
work.
the Elvis
You still
behind you
need,
there.
yeah, Elvis, the king is overseeing
Nobody
this
can see.
conversation, so
Anna
I had
has
to
a
mention
Elvis
it.
poster behind her right now.
Yeah.
I do. It's a 1978 Elvis calendar.
I'm mesmerized by it.
Me too. Me too. That's why it reminded me of the blue suede shoes.
So then the item specifics is something where I know people are spending a lot of time on it, because here's how I know. Because I still, for a lot of my categories, I use sell one like this. And when you
Yes.
sell one like this, it pulls in whoever wrote that listing before you. It pulls in all
Yeah.
their item specifics.
Right.
And I'll see like 50 of them filled out, and half of them say NA or
Yeah.
some nonsense that doesn't really
Yeah.
impact the listing at all.
It's
And I
it's
think
not
I
not
have to spend
relevant.
time to delete theirs, because not only are they not
Yeah.
helpful, but they're harmful to the
Yeah,
What
yeah,
in
yeah.
the structured data is going on here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's way
Right.
too much. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that Ken, you're right on track. Photos are where people should focus. And that is also an area for great improvement if you are looking, if you're not maybe a new seller, but you're trying to scale your business, you're trying to figure
Yeah.
out how to be more efficient. That is
Yeah.
one way that will help. And as we move into a world where AI is going to be more and more responsible for literally just taking our pictures and turning them into an accurate
A listing. Yeah.
the better pictures you take, the better that
Oh my
AI
gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
head start. And it
Yeah.
serves you now.
Yeah.
Okay. I love this. Like, I think of things I organize, especially like the topic for today or whatever. I think about a lot of things, including this in terms of categories. So like that category of like sourcing and processing inventory, or creating a listing and setting up your listing to succeed, right? Making a sale. Like, I think that's already some really great wisdom for like, what is a best practice for getting your item to sell? Like making a good listing, focusing on photos. If there's a learning curve, with photos and learning how to take good photos, it's worth the time investment to learn it. If there's a learning curve with doing 9,000 item specifics, probably not worth the time, right? Do the ones that matter. So
Right.
that's a great example of like some best practices. But before we move to some other areas, I'm not sure that we actually got around to like you and scaling your business and kind of where it's at. You told us about the categories that you sell
Right.
in.
Oh yeah.
But
How
was there
big is the
anything-
business right now?
Was there
Or like,
anything else you wanted to say
how
about
many
it? 'Cause I feel like we
listings-
just
yeah.
interrupted you and never got back
Oh
to
no,
it.
that's okay. I mean, I'm in my mind. We're hitting on a lot of really fun and informative topics here, and I think the audience probably is getting some value out of it. But as far as scaling the business goes, I mean, it's so I don't mind sharing some numbers here.
Sure.
When
Yeah.
I
We
was
love numbers.
when I some data.
Yeah.
When I was working for eBay, I was pushing really hard, and I finally got to where my 90-day was about $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really proud of that because this is for someone working a full-time job
Right.
and, you know, traveling and all the other stuff.
For reference, my 90 days not even $30,000, and it is my full-time job.
Wow.
Yeah, mine's under that.
I
Yeah,
think
sure.
you could get, if that was your goal, and that doesn't have to be your goal. Like everyone's goal is different. And,
Right.
I always, a lot of times people see my 90-day when I went to seller events on behalf of eBay, because I would be showing them something in the app and then it, you know, shows up right
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the page. And oh my gosh, how do you get that? And I'm like, well, if that's your goal, if your goal is to make that number higher, you can do it. Like,
You
let me
can. You
It's-
totally
yeah.
can.
give advice.
That was the moment I knew we were friends, Chuck, when I first met you. And we were talking about stuff on campus. You know, I think I had a meeting with you or something about something, some, you know, product thing on eBay. And then we were just talking, you know, I found out you're a seller. So we're talking shop, and you're like, I'll show you my 90-day. I just like that. And I died. I was like, oh my gosh, he's letting me in.
I
Get
think
to
that
see this.
one thing that's made me successful in my role as a seller advocate at eBay
Mm-hmm.
was my what's the word I'm looking for? Openness, my
Yeah. Realness. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
my willingness to just be wear my heart on my sleeve,
Right.
just in terms of how I feel about the business, and just disclosing all the facts of my personal eBay business.
Right.
'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. It's not a secret. I mean, I don't need to keep it under wraps. There's no
Yeah.
competitive advantage that someone's going to get.
Right.
Just do the work, and you also can.
Right. Exactly.
So, but since I've been off on my own and not working for eBay and had more time to invest, and I feel like I'm barely scratching the surface of how much time I could put into this business. I'm still in this honeymoon period where I'm like, maybe I won't work today. Maybe
I'm my own boss. You get a day off.
And I
get
will say
another day
that
off.
I'm struggling a lot with the desire to go source when I should be doing the other parts of the business.
Oh, yeah.
You guys
I
struggle
mean,
with that too.
That gets really real sometimes.
Welcome to full-time gigs. You're right. Like I think the people that manages that the most are the ones that gets a lot of stuff done. I'm always that person that the only time that I can stop myself from not buying is when I don't have money.
Right.
When you literally can't.
Yeah, I can't. Like I could just, you know, like I'm not gonna just walk around the store and not buy anything. So it's like I'd rather not be there than be tempted to
Yeah.
try
You're
to
not
buy
gonna
something
window
that
shop.
Yeah.
So like I guess we could talk a little bit more about like what are like, you know, the things that you're finding out that, you know, now you're a full-time, like I guess that's very real to a lot of people that has a lot more control of their time now, that
Right.
you know, like what the
Right.
urge of like I need to go source, or no, I need to get listings done
Yeah.
before that stuff done. Do you have like maybe like, are you trying to build a parameter or a schedule that you want to create? You know, I mean, obviously it's still January, so you have, you know, it's kind of like a good way to build a
Yeah.
habit.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. I am trying to keep a regular schedule, and I do get up pretty early every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like generally before 7, I'll
Mhm.
wake up and then I'll get ready and then come down. And that's the most productive time I find, when my brain's the sharpest and I can sit down.
Yeah.
I am finding that there's a lot more just run the business stuff that needs to be done every day that
Mm-hmm.
than I maybe thought there would be. Like, oh, I'm just gonna wake up and I'm gonna have a cup of coffee and I'm gonna sit down here and work on some watches. No, that's not going to happen today because we ran out of 3 kinds of shipping materials. I need to deal with that problem.
Yeah.
And then we have, one of my contacts reached out and said, "Hey, I've got a lot of X. I need if you want to look through it." And
Yeah.
so when opportunity knocks, has to take
You go.
You go.
So, but that said, I thrive in that environment. I love it.
Okay.
I love that like seat of the pants, like
Yeah.
figure this out as we
Spontaneous.
go along. Right. And I do find that like if I get to the end of the day and I haven't really done something that at the end of the day will bring in more revenue to the business, then I get a little like guilt from that. I'm like, God, I need to. I can't just be filling my garage with inventory. I need to list it and sell it.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying not to beat myself up too bad about that, but I am. And I was just having this conversation with my wife this morning. She recognizes when I'm like, and she gets nervous when I'm maybe leaning in. I'm over indexing on the supply side of the business.
Yeah.
Not enough on the get it out the door and make money side of the business. And she's super cool about it.
All right.
And
but she's paying attention.
She's paying attention.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this guy's like turning into Santa Claus, just coming home with a bunch of presents, but not giving it away.
Well, I've started to source a lot more inventory, especially in the watch space online.
Right.
And so I get boxes.
Yeah, to get shipped in
almost every day.
Yeah.
That arrive, and I realize that I crave that dopamine rush you get from when you get
opening a box. Yeah.
Oh, you're not immune to that.
Oh, wow.
And I have to be like, it's not a sustainable practice.
Okay, but also like, not to defend you or anything, but like, we know as sellers, all of us, that you make money when you buy, right? Which is like that counterintuitive thing. And when you're like going into a full-time position from a part-time position, you're like, well, obviously this needs to be even more profitable than it was, like as soon as possible, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that's hard too. I feel like that's another area where experience really teaches you what is your own personal correct balance of that. But it's not going to be like a perfect linear trajectory, right? Like you have to find out where the limits are by hitting them sometimes.
That's
and I'm not talking about credit card limits here. I'm talking about like
no
your capacity and what's the right rhythm for you for sourcing and listing. And I mean, I love that you spoke earlier to like giving yourself permission to make mistakes, because I think for me, it was really hard for a long time for me to give myself permission to like, okay, what I'm interested in, like watches is a good example, right? I'm interested in watches right now, so I'm just going to allow myself to like go all in on that and learn everything I need to learn and master it and enjoy it and squeeze everything out of it before I go back to like any kind of routine. Like, obviously I still have to like ship stuff every day, even though I'm enjoying like sourcing these watches or tinkering or whatever and fixing them and getting them ready. Like, you might be enjoying all that stuff so much, but it's like, it's okay. Like, this is a little season of my interest in this area, and it's going to serve my business overall. So I'm going to let myself kind of like soak my brain in that until this little season of that is over, and then I can move on to the next thing, or maybe have some more of a semblance of a routine that looks normal on the outside. Maybe not, right? Maybe you'll be leapfrogging to the next cool thing that's going to boost and help you scale your business. But the point is, it's not going to necessarily look super like evenly paced or like linear, right? You can allow yourself to go, nope, this is the opportunity knocking on my door right now, and I'm going to take full advantage of it. And that's perfectly fine. Like, it's on you. Like, the results of that are on you. But like, I think that kind of permission is really important as a business owner, because otherwise maybe you do stay stuck spending 15 minutes on every listing because you have some sense of duty to like having a routine or doing the right stuff in the right order. I don't know. Like, it's hard to break free from some of that sometimes.
Well, now that I'm working full time at this, I do have a fear that I'm going to, I don't know, run out of inventory, that I'm gonna, focus so hard on the listing side that eventually I won't have stuff to list, and then it'll be like a dry spell, and I won't be able to find anything. And
Yeah.
then that, but the more that I've started to do this as a full time gig, the more I've realized I'm actually really good at finding stuff.
Yeah. Better than
And
most, I would say.
well, I don't know about that, but I feel like my numbers stand for themselves. Like I've been profitable.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I've learned, boy, short from both friends that I know and from talking to eBay sellers. I've learned that people's thresholds for what profitability should look like for their business are very different.
Yeah, they are.
And there's some where I'm like, you guys aren't going to be in business, do it this way for another couple years. It's just not. You can't buy stuff for 90 cents and sell it for $1. Like, it's just not gonna be
right.
sustainable.
Right.
So I had the blessing, I guess, of years of figuring out what these margins should look like. I also came from a time, I've been doing this on eBay selling since the late 90s.
Yeah.
And when eBay was very young. And back then, a lot of my sourcing came from the bins. And this was when there was no iPhones.
Right.
I remember when I got my first
instinct
sidekick.
and experience. Yeah.
I remember when I got my first T-Mobile sidekick and I could look up something on the eBay website in this jacked up kind of format. And how revolutionary it was, because before that it was just you were on your own wits.
Yeah.
But back then the reseller world didn't really exist.
Right.
And so it was like so easy to buy stuff for a penny and sell it for $10.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the margins were insane. And so I got I got spoiled by that, but I also learned what a good margin should be and where all that money goes.
Yeah.
That you think, like when I go into a thrift store and I find an item that's worth $50 and it's like 10 to buy it, I might not get it.
I'm the same way.
I mean, so if you run that through the processor, right?
Yeah.
Like what are all the things that need to come out of this? Like eBay fees.
Yep.
You're
Shipping.
in 15% probably on eBay fees if you're doing it right.
Right.
And then maybe a little promote listings fee, and then there's the cost of shipping, and then your cost of goods, and then next thing you know, you're spending 10 to make 10 more. And
Yeah.
that's okay. But the problem with margins like that, I'm finding, I knew this before, but I'm finding it more and more, is that all it takes is a couple of sideways transactions to like completely erode your margins.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like when
Yep.
you have, something comes back or
If
an
a return,
or
then
whatever.
you're eating the shipping cost, right? Then you're gone. Then
Yeah.
the profit's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
And that maybe reinforces for me a little bit of the mentality of the people who get so upset about the
Yeah.
Right.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Because for them, if you run your business with those tight of margins, of course you're
Yeah.
gonna be furious when you get
Mhm.
that that order back. But for the most part, I try to keep my margins super fat, and
Yeah, that's a
and
good that's a
and I
good best
walk away.
practice.
like you guys, if you see something that you want and it's in your category and you really like it, do you have the power, the mental fortitude to walk away from it?
Yeah, I think that's half the battle. Knowing when, I would even say the best resellers are the ones that can say no to, maybe a good deal, because
Yeah.
the best ones are the ones that are really searching for great deals.
Yeah.
I think part of the lessons that we've learned through scaling is the more when you're dealing with bulk buys, it's they're not gonna be there often, but when they present themselves, you gotta be able to capture that or buy that. Well, the issue is you gotta need capitalization, And one of the things that I've learned is I gotta say no to the average buys. That way, I'll have enough capital to buy the no-brainer deals. And I think that's the hardest part of kind of like balancing
Yeah.
finances is I gotta be ready for that great deal, because if I'm settling for the mediocre deals, then yes, you'll be able to make money and sell it. Like, and I think we gotta remove that fact. Like, oh, I can make money on this. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, no joke. Everybody can make money on something, but is that really where you want to take your store?
Right.
So, and I think that's gonna be one thing that you're gonna have to go through, with scaling your business bigger.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, oh, sorry, Chuck. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, that points to such a good best practice for beginners, whether they're beginners at scaling or beginners at the actual very beginning, right? Is like, if you start out with parameters that are going to kind of protect that and protect your margin and not erode it, like, that's just going to help you build a healthier business faster. And kind of in a similar vein, I guess, I think I would love to encourage everybody to be looking at things like Chuck loves to look at and talk about the 90-day total, sales performance, but also the value of what you're listing in your store. For so long, I was way more focused on the number of items listed instead of the value of the items listed.
Yep.
And if you want like real sustainability and, real sense of security in your business, whatever that actually is, like, you have to look at the value, right? Because Chuck, like, to your point, even if you do hit a dry spell for 4 months, if you have $500,000 of listed inventory, you're probably gonna be fine.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I recently I sat down with Evan and I said, hey, we need to like go through old inventory, and this is what I'm thinking is I want you to take I want you to look at everything we have in inventory that is older than 6 months, that is $15 or less, and I want you to pull it. I want you to pull all of it. And just pull it out of inventory, put it in boxes over here. So he did that, and he pulled it. And then we went over this, everything except for media, because media is obviously cheaper. Yeah. But we went over and went through it all, and I didn't put a single thing back. All of it, I was like, this is all going to Goodwill. Right. Like, why do this is all a huge waste of time. It's old stuff that may have been in my store for years that I can't lower the price any more than $15. Like,
right.
It's just not,
right.
So how do you avoid the purge? By not sourcing that in the first place.
Well, I think the purge is important.
Yeah,
like, I think you need to do a purge.
I've been doing them.
Yeah, but you also, I mean, okay, we all make mistakes and make bad buys, so that happens. But we also, I mean, times change quickly, especially with inflation. Right. And a lot of that stuff when I bought it was fine.
It was worth something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And now it's not. And but I'm not gonna sit on it and be like the world owes me $10 $15 item that I bought. Right. Like, no, they don't.
Right.
And I have no problem marching it all right back down to the Goodwill and throwing it in their lap or lotting it up or whatever. Right. And in fact, all that stuff that I got rid of, there was not even anything in there worth lotting up. It was just junk.
Yeah. Right.
And I felt so relieved. I use plastic tubs as my inventory storage, control.
Yeah.
And we freed up like 10 tubs.
Isn't that a great feeling?
And the crazy part about it, if you sum it all up and the value that you lost, they're not even that much because the average sale price was so low.
Yeah. And probably the cost of goods also. And it's like all of that stuff is not weighing you down anymore. Like, and you have fat profit margins on everything. So it's not like you were out that money in a global sense, right? Like,
and a lot of it too is just, I think the biggest hindrance, right? And I think, like we've covered a lot of this. I mean, just kind of like working with Anna since we've met, about like just bouncing each other, right? Because we come from two different worlds about like just the category and just the volume game of items, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And we've learned from each other like, okay, there's value to having higher quantity and listings, but also there's value of having less. What is that rhythm or medium that you can host on your own specific scenario, right?
Right.
Like one of the
Right.
things that I've learned is I was very high ASP seller. At one point it was $330. Economies change.
$330
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
for
ASP.
ASP.
Yeah. So
Sneakers.
you know, right? So, but
You
that was,
blew my mind, Ken.
and at some point, and
You
at
know what
some point,
mine is today? And
Yeah.
this is really high compared to like
Right.
6 months ago. It's $26.
okay,
Yeah. Well, Chuck, I'll have you know, I just took mine last year or 2024. My ASP was like 21 or 22, and it went up to over 40. So
Oh man.
Yeah.
You know
She's-
why mine is
You can
so
double
low is because I sell
all
a
the
lot of
media, right?
CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we gotta say shout out to Evan right here.
He's
You can shout
what
back.
yeah, we can shout out. Yeah, we can shout out.
we're doing the podcast. Come on over
I didn't
and
realize
say
you were on
hi.
the camera though. I didn't.
So this is my son.
No.
My son Evan just joined me here. He's did you run out all the postage to the post office? Is that what you were doing?
I just got back from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we were just talking about,
We've been talking about you for an hour, but don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, we were talking about just the value of the stuff that you guys were purchasing, and this is one of the things that I've learned, that there is a value in space, and let's say in my
Mental
experience,
and physical.
right? As a sneaker seller, right? It could be a really expensive sneaker, right? Margins are there, it checks all the boxes. But a sneaker is, I calculate space by a cubic feet, right? Kind of like, let's just say 12 by 12 by 12, that's a cubic, right? And I've calculated my basement how much cubic space it has. And since knowing Anna, I've learned how to process clothing way better. So the story is, we flew Anna to our basement, help us organize stuff, and then I realized, like, in a tote I could fit 4 sneakers, which is a 4 cubic tote. But the value of that would be, let's just say, $500 listed value of that sneakers. But if I filled it with higher end clothing pieces, I could fit 1,000. So all of a sudden, the cubic value of my storage just doubled. So in my estimation, my basement could have held 500,000 of products. Now I'm having to recalculate it because I think we could fit close to 750 with the additional of the clothing pieces, because now it's not just the value of the item, it's more of the value of the space of the item that's taking space. So that's why me and Anna were going back and forth, that she did a purge on her stuff and share that story about the value of space that you gain back, or the mental
Oh yeah.
space.
Well, I gained all kinds of things back, really, a space in all those ways. But yeah, I mean, I purged a lot of the lowest dollar items. It was like, what's been sitting there the longest? What's the lowest value, like sale price, or attempted sale price, I should say, because it's stuff that didn't sell over like years and years. And I factored all of that in. And the third consideration was the physical space that it was taking up, really. So it was like, the value and the age and the space. And so it took me the longest to get rid of stuff that was really tiny, like matchbooks, that I got for a penny that might sell for $10. It was like that kind of thing. And I'm like, but they haven't sold in 5 years. So I don't want all of this like dead weight in my store, and to have to try and look through and find the one when it sells. Like, that was taking up more of my time than it should have, because it wasn't that well organized, because it's so small. So now, I'm a big fan, just speaking of like best practices, I'm a big fan, especially when you're starting, of having some parameters for yourself, right? And so now I think I would recommend that when people are sourcing and they're beginners, they need to ask not just, is this worth money? Is it worth, you know, the $10 they're asking for it? Can I make X amount of dollars on it? Could I make at least 5x or 10x, you know, my monetary investment? But also, is it worth 30 minutes of your time to process it, to pack it up for shipping, all the time that you spend with that item and its lifespan in your store? I estimate that. I heard that as a rule of thumb from someone else, and I adopted it. Is it worth 30 minutes of your time? Is it worth the money? Are you going to get that much money out of it? And also, is it worth your space? Like, I think those are 3 questions, and it has to be like yes to all, you know? Has to be yes to all, or I don't think it deserves a spot anymore. And I used to be way more lenient about that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there you have
Ken,
it.
for you,
Yeah.
were saying is space is a real constraint for you, right? Like you don't have a lot of places to expand into.
Just a 1,500 square foot basement. Or, well, the other one would be my 2-car garage.
That's
And
just an overflow.
that
Worst
will be
case
my
scenario,
overflow.
best
Yeah.
case scenario.
So that is kind of like, okay, I can work to just try to fill up the space, but why won't I do it efficiently, right? So we've you know, over the years we've lowered our average sale price because now I am buying the lower or the smaller products, right, or the streetwear, to a point that you know, I have, you know, tank tops now. I have running shorts, which cost 0 space basically.
Yeah.
We're at $85 average sale price now.
That's
So
great.
yeah, so again, I mean, and then, you know, deduct, kind of like do the math on my goal, right? Like I've
Yeah.
always said $1,000 keeps, you know, hustle be happy, and a day on sales. So that's kind of like, okay, how many items do I need to sell to reach $1,000? So that is the goal. You know, and we've done it for multiple years, and now the question is, how much do I need to scale it further with trying to afford the life that we want to create, not monetarily, but with the free time, right? Because you can make all the money you want, but at the sacrifice of, you know, trading back time, right? Because again, we're just trading time here with value of the money that we're trying to acquire. So,
You know, let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
You made me think of this, and in terms of deciding what I should sell or what categories I might get into, my methodology for picking inventory has always been very data driven. I like things with model numbers,
right,
and styles and
Yeah.
things that are super quantifiable, or even commoditized, where it's really easy to assess what the value is of the item. And I've stayed away from categories where there's some fashion or artistic merit that comes
Right.
into play that I don't understand because I'm
Right.
not in that space.
Right.
And Anna, I know your inventory leans more into that space, and so I wanted to ask you, because there have been a few times, like I'm starting to see the light a little bit on this, you know, what I've been afraid of before, where I found something. What did I find? It was a sometimes they're figurines, like a brass animal, or it'll be like an ashtray. I got an ashtray with a. Did I sell a brass ashtray with a horse on it or something like that?
Yeah. Something like that.
And I was like, this just looks cool. It had no maker's marks, nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this looks cool. If I like it, someone else will like it. And I bought it, and I took really good pictures, and I listed it for like $100 or something, and it just sold.
Yep.
And I was like, oh,
Dang.
Oh, you got taste. You
Like,
got
what's
taste.
what's happening here?
That's called taste, Chuck.
No.
Well, and it makes me. I mean, everything has its person, though, right? Like,
Right.
the hardest part that I worry that
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy things that appeal to too small of an audience.
Yeah,
and
which
I'm
is
gonna get
definitely
stuck
a
with them,
risk.
you know?
It's definitely a risk.
Right.
Okay.
I think to preface it, I think Anna knows the way I run the business so to at this level now, that I think she can answer to both, because we talk about this a lot, and she's experienced my world of buying retail arbitrage items. So
Okay.
everybody pay close attention to this answer.
Oh no. Okay, well, my first two thoughts about this, because like, yeah, I experience this on a weekly basis when I'm sourcing, especially when I'm looking at like online estate auctions. That's one of my favorite ways to source here where I live in like Southern Illinois. And, you know, it's all bidding online, and then you go pick up the stuff like after the auction's over, and, you know, it's all like that. And you usually get 1 or 2 pictures of the item. And usually it says something like blue shoes from your example earlier. It's like not descriptive. There's usually not a lot of information. But whether you're like in person or you're sourcing online like that, first of all, Google Lens will give you a great idea. That also is a quick way to look at like, you know, another area where there's a lot of really good vintage inventory is Etsy. And like, okay, here's one that maybe there's not a mark, but, you know, somebody else has this same thing or a really similar thing, or maybe they have better photos of it so you can see, oh, should I look on this item for like an artist stamp or something? Like, you can get a lot of information that way. You can also get what are the good keywords to use, because the other thing to consider about items like that is how can people search and find it. So if there's not a brand, there's not a UPC code or like some kind of a style code or something, they have to be able to like find it by searching for it with keywords or Google Lens, right? Maybe those buyers are also using something like that. So can the buyers find it is a really good question. And what information can I find out about it? You know, if you're able to research in the moment. But honestly, if not, like, depending on the price of that item, if it's cheap enough and my gut is telling me yes, or like my own personal sense of taste and style is telling me yes, this is a cool thing that somebody else would think is cool, I'll just do it as an experiment and I'll buy it.
Yeah.
You obviously can't create a death pile of those kind of items because you
Right.
might be wrong some of the time, and then oh well, chalk it up to the experiment. But a lot of times that's another area where even without, you know, those really specific identifiers that some other more commoditized kind of items have, like you still can gain a lot of experience with like what is popular or what art styles or what eras are popular. And, you know, within like mid-century stuff especially, I have found some things look super cool and they look retro or they look really mid-century, but they were so mass produced they're not worth anything.
Right.
So, but that's like a nuance of that era that you have to learn by experience, research, some combination of both. Ken, was that what you were hoping I would say? Because I have no idea what you thought I would say.
No, because
No, that's good. That's good advice.
No, because I think the art stuff, right? Like I said, like if it doesn't have a lot of data in it, then you gotta rely on the style.
Oh, I'll sell a painting. I'll sell a lamp.
But here's the thing, like
I sold a plank of wood for like $200.
Yeah,
that a certain person painted on. I mean, come on.
Wow.
Yeah, when there is value in art too, right? But again, like Anna said, you cannot build your business around it to a point that you're not an expert of that level, right? Because you gotta have so much experience.
It is way less predictable, I would say, and like, but you know, so is kind of everything to a degree in terms of can I reliably source it,
right?
That's way less like, can I go out and look for this exact item somewhere else? Probably not. But can I look for things from this era in this condition made of these materials? Like, yeah, you start to learn those things.
Right. So the contrast of that kind of like ideology would be what the business that I've tried to grow, because I found, you know, a handful of items that I know that sells well, and I just do whatever it takes to get more of it. Hence, I fly and drive to all these different states to get the exact similar products, because I know that there is limited supply of this item, that if I buy enough of the supply, the demand would kick back up. So, but the thing that that I've learned from diversifying and trying to carry different products is because I used to have this belief: if it's not Nike, I don't want it. I hated Adidas so much, but I
what you mean hated? Come on.
I still hate it. I still hate it. Um, I
but
just
you'll
didn't,
sell it. But
I
you'll
just
sell it.
didn't realize, because my mentality, like for example, these two brands, right? Nike and Adidas, right? Um, Nike sells like like I think 10 to 20 million dollars a year. A month in eBay on eBay. Like you could go therapy just to
Oh my
type Nike.
gosh.
And
It's product research.
oh, it's product research. I can tell you right now, this is one of the things that solidified me in brand, right? So total says there's 229,000 items that sold on eBay, just the keyword Nike. That's the brand Nike. And if I am in that space, there's just way more eyes, right? Compared to Adidas's 111,000. So you can't tell me that that brand is way more supreme than the other, right? Just based on that. But in my head, I've always said no to the brand because I've always assumed that the buy cost was the same, right? So if my average buy cost for Nike shoes at that point was $35, and I was selling it for $90 to $150, my was like, why would I buy an Adidas that only sell for $60, right? But I
if you're
didn't
still paying $35.
right, but that was a wrong assumption because I didn't know and I didn't have experience that I can buy Adidas for $10.
Huh.
So again, that was just kind of like, again, Chuck, data driven, but I applied it wrongly. I had the data for Nike, but I applied it to other brands, right? And that's how I stumbled upon the other brands that I carry now, which are outerwear specific, like North Face, Patagonia, all the other ski brands that I can't even pronounce. And that's the art side of like, oh, I could definitely see somebody want to rock this.
Yeah.
And then all it takes,
Like,
Chuck,
this color is funky.
Oh,
I'm getting
yeah.
them all.
and here's the thing. All it takes, I mean, I've heard of Patagonia brand. I bought a Patagonia jacket that I paid $45. I listed it. Sold for like $188, something like that. Like close to 200. For some other people, like, yeah, it's not like the thrift store margin that I could 100x my money, but I could, let's say I tripled my money.
But also it's going to sell in a week.
Right, but in my head, it's like, all I gotta do is find 1,000 of this, right? That's when data came in. And that's when crazy comes in and be like, all right, you gotta fly and drive to all kind of stores and ask somebody if they have this.
And that's why Ken only has one kidney left.
Yeah, no. I'm actually
sold his other one.
I'm actually. Is that how you're getting your working capital as organ donation?
Yeah, that too.
Not recommended for beginners.
No.
I haven't gone there yet, but if the deal's right, I might.
How many
if Patagonias? If the data shows, I actually might have 3 kidneys, so we don't know. So I don't know until I try. But no. That was
in an up market, you can buy extra kidneys, and then when it goes down,
now you're thinking. Now you're thinking.
Yeah. So, so that's kind of like I don't know if we answered your question.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I love this conversation, guys.
Yeah.
It's helping me think this through too. But I actually made a list earlier of kind of some of the things I think about when I'm sourcing, and I thought this might be useful to the audience. And
right.
You guys, and I want to get your take on it. So, first of all, when I'm looking at what to buy, I think about the volatility of the category I'm buying in and the resilience of that category. So, for example, if there's something where, like right now, gold and silver, precious metals are all over the place, and people buy those on such thin margins that it's really easy from day to day to like
to lose
out. Margin erode because
if you want a business to panic about, do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be stressful.
At that point, just be a stockbroker. Be at that business.
Just day trade. Then
another thing I've been thinking about is sort of the macroeconomic context. So, and this applies even when I go into like estate sales. Like what are supply constraints and what are tariffs causing and what is the this sort of importing pressure that's happening. and which categories are going to benefit and which are going to suffer from this. And a good example is I went to an estate sale this summer, and it was an old farm in the rural area here, not too far from my house. And I showed up, and it was a farmhouse and a whole bunch of outbuildings. And this guy had been running an auto body shop and auto repair, and
you got all the parts. You got all the parts.
Workshop. Yeah. And he had tucked away in all these outbuildings just thousands of old auto parts, new old stock, like Ford, mostly auto parts. Yeah. And so I started going through and looking at all this stuff, and it wasn't priced, so I knew I was going to probably have some room to play. But so on the first day, I filled up a couple IKEA bags and took them up to the register, and they gave me what I would consider to be an exceptional deal.
Yeah. And
so I took it all home, and all I could think about that whole night was, man,
I need to buy all of them.
I was like, tariffs right now are making all auto parts from overseas cost a fortune.
Yeah.
Tons of people are restoring old vehicles, and they want their original
OE parts. Yeah.
And so I went back the next day, and I bought everything. I just bought like auto parts like you would not believe. And I was nervous. I was like,
because it's a category that you're not used to selling in. Right.
The data part of my brain is like, this has to work. Like, this is...
Yeah, there's no way it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I was agonizing over it, because I think my entire spend over the whole weekend at this place, and I think I went back 3 times, was like $300. Like,
oh my gosh. Buy them all.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
So I bought all this stuff, and then I ended up spending a couple days listing it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I have, put it all in my inventory system, and it didn't sell super quick. Like, I was like, oh man, what have I done?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like a dam broke.
Wow.
And now I'm selling like one little part in a Ford box is like $100.
Yeah, dude.
Right. That kind of level of stuff. Yeah. I'm making thousands off of this buy because I thought about the macroeconomic conditions that might cause these to be valuable, and I was right. And it really made a huge difference. So aside from macroeconomic, there's seasonality, and when people are going to buy stuff, like holiday season obviously being big. My wife just reminded me, she's like, I feel like you missed your window on watches because Valentine's Day is coming up, and you could have listed all these watches and you didn't.
Yeah,
I was like, shut up.
I love her. I love her.
I was like, you're so right, and I'm so mad at myself right now because I really should have listed them. She's very optimistic. She's like, you can still do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's pretty late for Valentine's Day. But and then I think a lot about.
I think she's overestimating the advancedness of men buying or people buying watches. Like,
maybe
overnight
Valentine's
shipping.
Day. Yeah. I'm like, people are going to be shopping February 1st for sure. So.
I told her, I said I should have been ready on January 1st. For Valentine's Day. I should have done a full Valentine's promotion. I should have been.
No. I'm not that.
Oh, you wouldn't do a Valentine's Day? You wouldn't put something on your storefront or something that was like.
So I think here's kind of like, based on what you're saying, there's a lot of analysis that we all can do.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, based on your going back to the car parts, right?
Yes.
My question always to myself when I get faced on that one: have you spent this amount of money on inventory before at one time? Have you spent $300 before on inventory? Okay.
Oh, I've spent many times that amount.
Right. So Chuck, that one, knowing that they're brand new, I would have punted every other logic reasoning why you should have delayed anything. I would have is your house for sale too?
So Ken, when I'm sitting here in this perspective, looking outside in, through Ken's eyes,
right?
I'm like, of course I should have just gone up to the proprietor of the estate sale and said, "Hey, look, you just want to get rid of all this stuff." I'll just bring a truck and I'll take it all away.
Yeah,
right. Like you would have
price, and I will take it. But I get inside my head, man.
Right,
and
that's every day. That's every day for every, especially bulk buying or buying a different category. We've
Yeah.
all been there, right? We've all been
Yeah.
put in a situation, but at the end of the day, like I always tell everybody, if you look at it, it's just units,
Yeah.
right? It's just units.
Yeah.
And when there are data that says like, okay, I can break even off of this buy if 1 or 3 items sold, that's what happened to your buy probably.
Yeah.
You
right.
broke even after 3 sales.
Oh yeah. No, I think 2 sales. I think
Exact-
a couple $150 items were in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
Insane. No,
Yeah.
but I didn't know when I
Yeah.
left. I didn't have the confidence in the category yet
Yeah.
that I
Right.
have in other categories.
Right.
So I was like, so here's what went through my head.
Right.
There was 1,000 people at this estate sale over the
Oh wow.
weekend.
Okay. Okay.
Why did none of them do this?
Right.
No. No. Yeah. Makes
Because
sense.
do they know something I don't? Is this
Right.
garbage?
It gave you
Right, right,
pause.
But they were wrong. Every
Yeah.
one of them was wrong.
Yeah.
They all could have bought it. I even saw some guys like kicking through it, and they were picking little bits and pieces that they needed or whatever.
Right.
And there was resellers there too, but
Yeah.
they were buying the obvious dumb stuff that all resellers.
Well,
buy,
yeah.
video games. And
It also wasn't
whatever.
their comfortable like.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys were.
Category.
You guys were thinking the same thing. You guys were like, should I come back next week?
You know what, though?
yeah. Right.
I think
Yeah.
this whole story like highlights another really good best practice for beginners, which is, I don't know if you remember this, Chuck, but the first day that you went to that estate sale, we talked and you told me about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you better be going back tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
and you
right.
were-
We did. We had.
But you were like already like,
Yeah.
I think I
bounced
gotta
it
go
off of
back.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I recall that.
But
Yeah.
that's the best practice right there. Get out of your head and talk to somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
At least somebody else who has a clue,
Yeah, Chuck,
right? Like
next
I
time-
don't sell
next time
auto
text me.
parts. Okay, actually, yeah, I'm revising my best practice to run it by Ken, and then that's
And
all
I'll
you
be
have to-
like, does he have a car? Ask if that's the car for sale too, and load up all the parts
Yeah.
in his car
In
and
the
price
car.
it
Drive
with
the
the
car
car.
no, but I do think like for me, right? I'm no OEM parts seller at all,
Yeah.
but because of the community that
Yeah.
I'm in, I even think I mentioned this to you. Like our friend Alec Larson, who we've had on the podcast,
Yeah.
is a auto parts guy in Florida, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can just hear Alec Larson telling me buy them all. Like he would be
Yeah.
like, duh, you know. And so then I got to pass along that duh to you, which you already knew and were already going to do anyway. So I'm not saying
Right.
my advice changed your mind at all, but I do think even just saying it out loud to another reseller that you trust is like really
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
get out of
another-
your head, you know.
Another kind of like complication to this is sometimes when I go to these estate sales, and I don't know if you guys experience this. Can you? I don't know if you do
Yeah.
estate sales so much, but Anna, you certainly do.
I sure
You
do.
go in and sometimes you don't know where you stand. You walk in the door, not everything's priced. You don't
Yeah.
know the estate sale
Yeah.
company.
It's like,
and you don't
is
know if
my offer
is it
gonna
even
offend
worth-
you? Yeah.
is it even worth cherry picking a bunch of stuff into this bag and then go to the register only to be told prices that are like
So high.
prohibitive?
Ridiculous. Yeah.
So there was a little bit of that going on too, but it was interesting because when I came in, it was a couple who ran this sale, and the woman came up and talked to me almost immediately, and she had, I think she was trying to figure out like what my deal was,
Right.
because I think I overdressed. I think
Yeah.
I was dressed a little nicer.
Just
and,
put the tuxedo away,
she-
Chuck.
yeah.
You don't
on
need
the
all
end of it,
that.
I try to like befriend people and tell,
Right.
and I'm really honest. I'm like,
Right.
hey, I'm selling this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like, trying to convince them that I'm
Yeah.
in love with auto parts. Or
Yeah.
and by the end of it, she was like giving me super deals. And,
Right. Yeah.
Like it was to the point where I went up to someone to cash out who I hadn't met yet, and they were kind of putting some crazy prices on stuff. And I think I didn't say anything yet. But I think that lady could see the look on my face that I was like, oh, he's going to walk away.
Right,
if
right,
they're
right, right,
that
yeah.
price. And she came over and talked to the guy, and all of a sudden it was like,
Oh,
way
it's-
less.
Yeah.
like, I think she was probably like, this guy's going to take those auto parts out of this barn. You need to let him do it.
Yeah.
Right.
and
Let him. Yeah.
and
Nobody
I,
else
and,
in 1,000 people is gonna come along and do
All
this.
the stuff going to the dump.
Yeah.
yeah,
Probably.
and I think the lesson there too is like, like I don't do estate sale, but I meet strangers all the time
Oh,
and
yeah.
trying to buy their stuff, right? Like I do retail arbitrage, I go to stores and I say like, hey, can I buy this? Like there are moments that, but I bring up 100 items and they say no, you can only buy 10. I just return it back and I pick the best 10, and I've always stuck to that until I get a no. If the numbers
Yeah.
are there, I'm in it. And what I want to point out is if it's something that you're uncomfortable with, test it, right? Which is
Mhm.
what you did.
Yeah,
Like,
that's great advice.
right. So there are times, right? There are stores that I know the limits are 10. So what I would do is I would test to bring 15. And
Wait,
they
the
say
limits are 10. What do you mean the limits are
the
10?
limits
you
are
can
10
only buy
items. You
10.
can only buy 10 items.
10 per customer.
So what would Hustlebee do is bring 15.
Just to see if you can push the boundaries a little bit.
Right, because at the end of the day, I don't know if he knows that I know, or I don't know if he knows what I know.
Right, but you don't want to bring like 50 and just be
Right,
like,
exactly, right. And then they say like, and then when the transaction goes through, and be like, oh, actually, can I buy 15 more? And they're like, yeah, sure, have at it. I was like, what about another 15? And then next thing you know, they're giving me their whole stock, right?
yeah,
And again, hesitations are great. So take the
Yeah.
hesitation and you just build upon it, right?
Yeah.
Because again, at
I
the end of the
agree
day,
with what you're saying 100%.
Right?
It's been my
And-
experience to
right? And most of the time, right? Like I would say 90% of the time, all the scenarios that we're playing in our head doesn't really play out. It actually plays out to be better than what we expected.
Yeah,
It's just human nature. And also too, like this phrase that I coined when buying bulk or estate sale, or I mean, like, kind of like that sort of like, I'll just buy it all, right? Kind of
Yeah.
like that moment. Anna looks at me and said, you said you weren't buying more of these, but why are you buying more? And I told her, I looked at her dead straight, I said, I'm already deep in it, might as well die in it.
Oh no.
True
Do you
story.
Do you get emotional sometimes in like do you get like acquisition drunk where you're like,
Oh,
buying all of it, even though
Yeah.
you're
no.
like, I can't possibly sell all this.
But then he does. That's
but
the
we
thing.
do.
If he's gonna get, I mean, he will sell it all, and he'll be
Yeah.
like, "And I'm not gonna sleep until it's all listed," which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
and
that's when
actually,
I-
he doesn't do that anymore.
Not anymore. That's when I say, like, Anna, how much room do you have in your basement, on your shed, on your carport? Like,
That
I'm
has
just, like,
also
thinking-
happened.
I'm just like, I literally left a car at Anna's place because I had to get a bigger car, and I said, I'll just get that later.
Yeah, I'll be back in a couple days.
Oh, yeah, I'll
Can I
get it.
park
Like,
this here?
I'll figure
Oh
it out.
man.
I know.
So,
You know, you just remind me, Ken, of a business growth thing that you inspired me on, and I haven't done it yet.
yeah.
But I hope I'm not oversharing that
No.
you shared with me that you bought a minivan for the business.
Yeah.
And that
yeah.
minivan
yeah.
is a
We just
vehicle
talked
you
about that with Kevin
Yeah.
because it's his
Yeah.
anniversary this month. He's had it
Yeah,
for a
I'm
year.
I'm about to have it in 1 year. I actually showed you. Didn't I show you when you came here?
No, you did, and you
Yeah, yeah.
inspired me because that after so I've finding there are more and more circumstances where I need to move cargo, and
Yeah.
it's I need a vehicle for that.
Yeah.
We have 2 electric vehicles and 1 gas vehicle, and
Yeah.
the gas vehicle is just not. It doesn't have enough space for
Yeah.
the extreme
For a-
situations that I
A
find
barn
myself
load
in.
of
Yeah, for a barn
auto
load of car
parts.
parts, just
Yes,
in case, Chuck.
exactly. So I'm like, man, a minivan is the perfect vehicle for this
Yeah.
because if you take the back seats out and you can do road trips in it, it's comfortable, but it holds a lot of cargo.
Yeah,
SUVs don't hold as much.
Nope,
they
they
get
don't.
worse gas mileage.
yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy. I mean, I'm not buying a brand new one like you did, but I'm gonna buy probably a Kia minivan,
Yeah.
and that'll
Or-
be the vehicle for the business.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And then again, all that all that tool does is get written off and gets used, right? Like
Yep.
that's what's
That's
always
your
gotta
cat.
do. Yeah. But yeah, I think the cat was agreeing. He's
I
like,
think a
yeah,
cat
get
was.
a yeah, like
He was agreeing that it's time for his dinner.
yeah, I say this
You
all the
don't have to
time. I drive
harass
a
me.
2-seater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a 2-seater.
Because the
It's a
seats are
2-seater.
never in the back, right?
Yeah,
A
it's a
two-seater
2-seater
minivan.
Boxes as far as the eye can see.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, it's just part of the growth process, right? It's just trying to
Yeah.
stretch our, at the end of the day, it's just our imagination, right? Like we
Yeah.
laugh at like the things that we wish we would have bought more of, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it happens, and it's okay. The more important thing is we get to think about it and laugh about it, right? It's not to a point that we're crying.
That's
about
way
the
better
deal.
than money.
Oh no, that's way better than crying because we said no to the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I've been almost to that point about crying because I didn't.
Yeah.
right.
That's the scenario that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
wanna
I thought you were saying it's funny to laugh about the stuff that, oh, we should have gotten that. I'm like, oh yeah, I would rather have the money, not,
do. Oh.
not the hilarious memory of how we missed the boat. No,
Yeah.
but you're saying the opposite. I get it now.
Yeah. We try to take advantage of every opportunity, but no.
Also, Chuck, we just learned in our Part A episode that mileage reimbursement for 2026 is 72.5 cents a mile. So make sure you're tracking that
Oh,
in your,
yeah.
in your
I've-
new minivan.
I've got the app. Yeah, I've got the app that tracks all the miles.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If you have a dedicated vehicle, you don't even have to track it because you just have to record the mileage that car traveled.
Right. Yeah.
So what
good
I do is
idea.
I just take photo of the starting of the year and then a photo of the ending of the year.
We'll
and
probably
that's-
use the van for family trips too, to like.
Oh
the coast
yeah.
or
So you
whatever.
just deduct
Right.
it reverse, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I.
Deduct
Yeah.
the family trips only.
Well,
yeah.
there's an app for mileage that's really accurate.
Mile
that-
IQ, right? That's
I
what
think
a lot of
that's the
people-
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
No.
so when you're doing garage sales, it's really helpful because there's so much driving involved.
Oh
with-
yeah.
with that.
That'd be
I-
really hard to not, to keep
I
track of it. So
still
many
get-
stops.
Some of my best, like Portland summertime garage sale season is like just
Peak.
really killer. Yeah, it's very good because the weather here is so not conducive to garage sales in the winter.
So it's like so.
It concentrates in the
It's
summer.
so
Yeah,
condensed.
yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
condensed. Well, sounds like we need to make it up there on.
I know.
Oh.
You can come
Can't-
we got Nikes up here, man. You can come up and
Oh
Yeah.
golly! When does it start there?
Summer.
Like what is it for Portland?
as far as like when maybe garage sales would start.
Yeah.
I would say I start to see enough to really make it worth my while in maybe March, but in earnest, the season is between Memorial Day and Labor Day.
Okay.
That's
No.
although I've been seeing it go later and later in the year, I was still hitting garage sales in
December, right?
October,
November?
November,
Okay.
and I still hit estate sales year round. In fact,
Yeah.
last
I-
weekend we went to a bunch of estate sales, and
No, that might be a
little bit.
trip that we all have to take. I mean, I still have yet to do a tour at the Nike headquarters, so you know,
I feel like
think-
Seller Club podcast needs to go on this trip.
you should,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
should.
yeah, we should.
We should do like a pre garage sale day, like sync up where we
Yeah.
talk about what we hope to accomplish.
yeah,
And then we should do after like a roundup at the end to say,
or we send the most opposite or contrasting person to that exact garage sale, and
You
see
never know
how.
what you're gonna find at the garage sale.
Well, Chuck kind of has a clue though.
I just want to see if Ken would
I'm
buy
good.
anything, and I want
yeah.
to see who's gonna buy the most and who's gonna buy the best item and who's gonna buy the
Oh, we should
highest
do that.
value
Can
item.
we
here's
just-
here's the most fun thing to do if you go garage selling with friends, and I go with Jonathan. He goes with
Yeah.
me a lot. We'll do like who makes the most money out of the free box at the garage sale.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
I literally just sold. I went to this garage sale and there was a huge. It's not a free box. It was like half the front yard had a sign on it that said free.
Oh my god.
There was a case there, a plastic case from a Bosch router, but it was the router was gone, but all of the accessories were
Oh,
unlocked.
okay.
And
So
it
it's
was
like
free.
yeah.
So I picked it up and I threw it and I listed it, and it sat on my store for like 5 months, and it just sold 2 days ago for $200.
Oh my
Oh,
For a
gosh.
free pile.
Is that the record? Is that the record?
I don't
Has
think
to.
it's the record. I've gotten some
Oh.
pretty crazy stuff.
So
Out
now
of
do you have to go back
All
to
right, all right,
Jonathan and be
Free
all right.
like,
piles.
on this
So
day,
They laugh at
I
me because
beat
I'm like
you.
the free pile whisperer. I go
Yeah,
in
this
there and
is
I'm
what
like,
yeah.
there's money in this box. I know it. I'm
So
gonna find it.
so this is you just gave me an idea for 2026. Everybody should make this list. Whether you put it on a whiteboard or like on a sheet of like free pile or not my category. I wouldn't have picked this up pile
Oh, yeah.
data of
That'd be interesting.
because that is the antidote for
yeah.
analysis paralysis moments.
Yeah.
You could always go back there. It's like, golly,
Yeah.
if now I'm gonna
Right.
use yours. I'm gonna use yours. If Chuck got a free Bosch plastic case and sold it for $200, Ken, why are you not buying this? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use your superpower.
See, I knew what it was.
Yeah.
That was where my special knowledge came into play. I was like, this
Right.
is a good brand.
Gadget. That's a
Yeah.
gadget.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
But
somebody that needed a case for his gadget.
I like this idea of things that are outside your normal category.
Yeah.
And there's something that I've been making so much money on, and I can't believe I'm going to tell the story.
Oh
But
no.
do you guys ever watch?
This is free tip, everybody. This
you
is
ever
free
listen-
money.
Do you ever listen to Justin Resells, that podcast, or the
I've
YouTube
I've
channel?
seen
I
his
follow
YouTube channel.
him.
I've seen
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Yeah.
Hi,
So
Justin.
a running theme in his show is that he buys vintage, like still packaged and sealed underwear,
Yep.
and that he makes a bunch of money on it. And when I saw him talk about that the first time he did it, I was like, I thought I was the only person who bought. One time I was at an estate sale, and there was like just a box, like a gross of sealed, like early 90s, late 80s, early 90s era women's cotton panties.
So funny.
Are
And
they
I
even
was like-
branded? They're
I was
not
like,
branded.
okay,
They're
first
just
of all, these are
popular
the-
brand.
These are the Hanes Fruit
Oh,
of the
okay,
Loom.
okay, yeah, okay.
And they were a style from that time.
Yeah,
They were
right.
cut different.
High cut
And
bikini.
they were and I'm like, there has got to be women who like want these exact underwear.
Mhm.
So I bought them at this estate sale and killed it on them. Like they just sold like for so much money, and I was like, okay, we found another area.
Yeah.
where I can- so now every
So
time
Chuck-
I find sealed underwear, men's, women's, whatever, I buy it. And
Shamelessly buy
Stop.
I shamelessly buy it. I don't. I go right up proudly and I set my underwear down on the table.
This is what the I don't know. This is what the never settle hustle bee would do. I would probably put up a Facebook Marketplace post and say, "We'll
I'll buy
buy
your own
all
underwear."
it. Yeah. Oh my god.
as long as they're sealed." Next thing you
sealed.
know, I'm gonna be the number
Let's
one
see how long it
dealer.
takes your post to get taken down. This dude's
I
buying
know.
underwear on
I feel like there's a riches in the niches joke in here somewhere.
Yeah.
I also
riches in the niches.
or in the britches, perhaps. Niches in the
Oh,
britches.
Nah.
I'm just
Oh,
saying,
no.
if you weren't really sold on recycled gadgets as your name, you could absolutely do riches in the britches.
Riches in the britches.
Yeah.
That is so perfect.
That would be your
That's what Dustin should call his set the segment on his
The
show.
segment.
Right. He
Okay, it's not the
should.
riches in the britches. I sold
Yeah.
5 packs of
yeah.
underwear.
Listen,
That-
please pass this along to him.
Yeah.
It would make me so happy if he
You
started
should.
calling it that.
That- That'll be me.
If anyone's not checked his show out, it's really good. He's
Yeah.
very entertaining, and he's a great public speaker, and he knows his stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that would be
love
me in a garage sale this summer.
Yeah, we'll have
brand
to-
new sealed old
you
underwear.
gotta ask for them. Yeah, I've never done that. I ask for watches. I ask for video games. I ask for vintage computer stuff. I have a whole list.
And
go
oh, by
down.
the way, any unopened women's underwear from
Yeah.
the 90s?
No. I'm gonna make a business card. I'm gonna business card and say, "Will buy this following item," and then I just stick it. To
Then
their
you don't have
face.
to say it out loud.
Yeah, I don't have to say it loud.
You're gonna call the cops on me, man.
Oh no!
I am not. I mean, if you look at me, I'm not
Yeah.
the kind of dude you want to see asking that question. I don't think it would go over well.
Oh no! In your
Okay, so-
minivan.
So
You'd
Ken-
be like holding your phone up and dialing 911 and just waiting for you to finish.
Maybe the Portland project for us is actually to get Chuck arrested from a garage sale. That's
Hey,
the ultimate
not
winner of the
arrested,
competition.
just
gets
called
Chuck.
on. Just called
Yeah,
on. The called on
we
is
won't let
fine.
him take you away.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I've really I've always been really anxious about how uncomfortable it is to walk into someone else's home, a stranger, and then
Yeah.
buy things from them and talk to them. And it took me a lot of years to hone my like ability to put people at ease, walk in there and just be like really gentle and
Like
not
a
seem
warm, welcoming person.
yeah, not seem like a
Yeah.
weirdo, whatever. And I can't say I do it with 100% success, but I think I do okay.
Like 2% weirdo.
I don't
It's
want
okay.
people to feel uncomfortable. There's a lot of people having garage sales for the first time, maybe, are
Yeah,
already
that
on
too.
edge. And
Yeah.
a lot of times they're the ones you want to buy from because that's like,
They'd rather just sell everything. Oh, you
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
this? You can have it all.
Yeah.
$2.
they've
For
never had
sure.
a sale before. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Let's
They
go.
want it gone. I mean, yeah. Anyway, finish what you were saying, but I want to tag
Oh,
on to
I'm
the.
fine.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
Go ahead.
still. I
I'm
was
just rambling now, Anna.
No. This is the best. This is the conversations we live for.
Yep.
Seriously, but I think it's a really good practice as a beginner. Like the whole like naming your own price or knowing like what to do in a certain sourcing situation. This is a really good framework that I feel like was helpful to me even when I wasn't a beginner. I'd already been doing it for a while. But if you just think about, okay, what's my business model? It's to buy things for a low cost and be able to resell them, kind of curate them and resell them at a higher price. Then if you're buying from a place whose business model is to just liquidate or to just move stuff in volume and they don't care, like the Goodwill bins is a perfect example of this, or a garage sale where it's like at the end of the day this stuff needs to be gone. You have a lot of power in that situation. Like, at the bins you can't like negotiate the price, but you have a lot of buying power and you are only limited by like how much time you can spend there digging through, right? So it's like if your business model and the business model of the source are like have some like symbiosis, then you're going to be successful there. But I think that can kind of clarify when there's kind of a human interaction involved, right? Like at a garage sale where it's like, okay, if you can go in and start talking to them and be friendly and get a sense of, okay, are they attached to every little thing in this sale and they don't really want to sell it? Or they have some emotions tied up in selling it? Or are they like, I never want to see this stuff again and I'm throwing it in the dumpster at the end of the day? Like those are two very different garage sales, right?
They are.
to be at. So being able to like figure that out or kind of ascertain that from the environment and see like just going into this situation, is my business model and their business model complementary or not?
Oh my God, that you're preaching to the choir here. I mean, that is exactly how I think when I go in. I try to figure out where I stand at an estate sale or a garage sale and understand. Sometimes I'll do a test scenario where I'll go in and there's no price on anything. And my favorite garage sale is a garage sale where there's boxes and bins full of stuff that appear unsorted.
Right.
And there's no prices on anything. So I'll go in and I don't want to just get right in their face and be like, how much is everything? So
there's no prices. How am I supposed to know?
Exactly. Oh, you sound just like the people. But also what I'll usually do is I'll pick a small selection of items that maybe I don't even care about that much, but I want to see where it's going to be.
Test it.
So I'll take them up and I'll say,
this is
how
your
much would these
15 items.
be?
That
And
Ken
then
was taking to the
best
counter.
case scenario is they say, oh, we just want to get rid of everything. How about 50 cents? And then I'm like, hold that thought. Do you have any boxes or bins I could use.
Yeah, that's right.
Start, getting everything. And
Yeah.
but other times it's boy, and you never know. Sometimes it seems like it's going to be a giveaway, and then you go up and
Yeah.
they're like nickel and diming you.
For
Everything's
sure.
more than eBay prices. And
Or they have the printout of a listed eBay item next to it.
I would be
And
like,
you're
that's my listing.
That's not even sold.
one thing
just
I've learned is
listed.
that never give up, even when that happens. I never
Ooh.
give up. Like I always feel like
I like that. I like that.
sometimes it's a conversation you need to have with them. Like I never try to convince people that their prices are too high because they'll
Right.
never believe you.
No,
Because
they'll just dig
always
in.
assume that you're trying to scam them or that you're lying.
Right.
And so you can never be like, those are going for this on eBay. You can even get your phone out and show them. Like, I could buy this thing you have for $100 here right now for $20.
Yeah.
Like, why are you
Yeah.
selling it for that much? They don't care. They don't
Yeah.
want to hear that. So
They don't.
I don't do that. But sometimes I'll let go of something, that item that they have 100 on that I wanted to spend 20 on. I'll just have to write it off in my
Right.
mind because
Yeah.
I'm like, we're never going to come to an accord on this.
Yeah.
But there might be other things here that they don't have
Yeah.
attachment to.
Yeah, it's
Right.
really finding the
But don't give up.
underpriced valued item, right? Because it doesn't matter if it's true or not. If
Yeah.
somebody that's in charge of pricing them doesn't value them, and
Well, that's
you
what I
value it,
struggle.
yeah.
I struggle with that concept of underpriced because I feel like, in the context of their garage sale, what's underpriced? Like,
Right.
They just want to get rid
It's
of stuff.
so relative.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it could be
But it
donated
is
and be
it
zero.
is undervalued though.
I'm
undervalued.
taking something from one marketplace and
Yeah.
I'm moving it to another marketplace through the process of curation that you
Yep.
just described, Anna.
Right?
And so that's worth something. Like,
Yeah, it is.
I have no qualms at all about earning that difference. And I mean, it's certainly nice when it's a lot. But it's a
Yeah.
good difference. I like that.
Right.
But I don't see any problem with it. And especially when I'm brutally honest with the people, what do you do with all this stuff? Oh, well, I do fix watches and cameras, and then I usually they either go in my collection or I sell them.
Yeah.
That's what I tell them.
Well, two things kind of sparked in my mind. I don't know, talking about all of this with you guys. One is that you really don't get what you don't ask for. And you have to be willing to let people tell you no, right? Like,
Yeah.
whether you're in a retail arb situation, talking to a store manager, or you're at a garage sale. But the other thing, too, is, and I'm curious your thoughts about this as far as a best practice for beginners, because I think this year I'm actually in 26. I just decided this yesterday. I think I'm going to start only tracking, and this is hard for me, the data nerd me to do. I'm going to only start tracking my average cost of goods, at least like per shopping trip. And I'm not going to worry about, well, I paid $5 for this and $13 for that. I'm going to do the average of the entire shopping trip, and that's going to be my cost of goods this year, and just see how that goes. And I'll probably keep the receipts because I'll a little bit be getting hives about this because it won't be completely technically true because it'll be an average.
That's a good way to do it, and here's why.
But yeah, what do you think about that?
Because
If I
when you-
could have done that from the beginning, should I have, and why?
Okay, so I like that model because it forces you to account for your bad buys.
Yeah,
Mm.
it saves your bad buys for sure.
It makes you, like, if you go to a thrift store and you buy 10 items ranging from 50 cents to $20, and then you sell a bunch of the 50-cent items and make good money on them, then you don't account for the lost $20 because who does? We just
Right.
pretend like it never happened.
Right.
So then you don't have a real good feel. I mean, if you were doing it for real or using software that helps track your costs, like Justin, his software does that. And with software like that, you can choose whether you want to amortize it across all the items or whether you want to keep them, really what the cost was. But I just feel like if you add all the prices together and divide by the number of items you have,
Yep.
then it'll help keep you. It'll help keep you as you in the future make purchases from, like, buying things that are
Yeah, that will
it's
drag it down, right?
purely psychological, and I don't know if there's any truth to it or not, but that's how my brain works, and I think I
Yeah.
would be more like, oh yeah, last time I bought 10 things and 3 of them were straight up garbage. I shouldn't
Yeah.
buy those anymore.
For sure. But I mean, that's kind of why I want to do it now. And I'm still like, it's such a new commitment for me in my business that I'm like struggling with like, would I recommend this to beginners or not? And I'm not sure yet. Maybe the jury is still out. But basically, when I'm sourcing, I'm like, oh, look at these individual cost of goods. I still care about my average, but I way more care about what's the exact profit margin on this item.
Yeah.
And like that still matters. But then when I'm looking at the performance of my business, I care about ASP. I care about my gross sales. I'm like, so why am I being so microscopic over here?
I think the most important thing, Anna, is that you're tracking your profitability.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think the method that you choose, now that I think about it, is that important. It's just that you can't run the business just on like hopes and dreams.
For sure.
You need to know if you're profitable or not. And as you scale up, the memory fades. Like you can't remember your cost on every item. And I'm guilty of this, believe me. I've always run my business as like, I just knew that the things I was buying were what they were worth. And I was seldom wrong. And I was more often surprised at how much more I got than I thought than disappointed that I didn't get much. So I didn't have as much time because I had a full-time job.
Right.
Now that I'm doing this full-time, I'm going to have to get it more rigid. Like you're describing, tracking things, little more accurately.
Well, and even at a per shopping trip level, that's a big difference for me. But I'm even thinking about the time that it takes to enter the exact cost for each item and to look at the receipt and to go and enter it anywhere. Like that's so much time. And I could just do one division problem and have my answer for all of them. And it would literally save me over the year. That would save me probably days.
What I've done is
so
categorize
much time.
by category. That's something that you could do. Like, cause like, my shopping, if you think shopping trip, you could be buying so much expensive stuff. And a lot of times I think that's kind of like, you can hide your average cost because it's such a big contrast.
Right.
But what I would do is like, for example, like how much did we pay on average on all the outerwear?
Right. Or like socks. Like if you're buying socks,
right?
Versus
like so I'm buying socks, right?
Ski coats.
Yeah, so that's what I would do and have done.
That's
lately.
A good idea.
Because also you have to think, right? You don't stop at the profitability per item, right? It's like I'm making $5 per item, right? Okay, I know it sells within 6 months, and then now I'm looking at it like if I want to make $10,000, you're telling me that I gotta buy 1,000 of these.
Right.
Now, do I have storage for 1,000 of these? That's just how my brain works right away. Like, I need to hit X amount of revenue for this and reverse engineer it. Because, like, one of the things that I've noticed with, just talking to a lot of, like, garage sale or thrift categories, like, oh, I'm 100Xing my money. Yes, but what is 100X of 10? Like, can you live off of that? Or do you need 100 of that to live off of?
Yeah.
So it goes both ways, right? It goes both ways that, yes, you gotta have the quantity to sell that to make the goal of income that you want to make at the end of the day.
And maybe the best practice in there is to just, like Chuck said, track it somehow.
Yeah.
But like in a way that you can actually like use that information like you're talking about, Ken. Like you can make decisions, you can project things like
when you're starting, when you're starting, track it, because that's how you build your memory. For my first, I think 2.5 years, I ran a weekly profitability and posted it on my Instagram.
Wow.
That's how much I was so much accountable for. Oh, this is a good buy or a bad buy, because people would clown me if it wasn't. So I had that data in like the 2 years, and that was just ingrained in me that most of what I found out is what is bad. Because in this business, all you gotta do is what the only way that you would cripple your business cycle is if you bought bad stuff and you don't have capital to reclaim the bad buy. That's it. And because you have the world to explore, like Chuck said, like I mean, my point of view, like, wait, I could buy parts later. I could buy parts this. I would always say yes to that. As long as I know what is a no, I'm all for it. I'll try it. Because then you just have a Rolodex of stuff that you shouldn't buy because it's harmful for your business. But everything's good. That's how I see it.
You got to try it.
You gotta try it.
Well, I don't think we have fully exhausted all the best practices for beginners, but we may have almost fully exhausted ourselves because we've been talking for a couple
Not even
hours.
close. I have so many more things.
Oh my gosh,
I could cover.
I know. Well, I
I
was
would
just
love
gonna
to come
say,
back and
Yeah.
continue with you guys at some point.
Yo, I think it would be a cool a circle back, right? I think.
Yeah.
So Chuck, what is one thing that you're trying to, let's say if we have a conversation 6 months later or 3 months later, what's something that is in the pipeline that you want to get done, and we'll circle back on it in a few months.
Well, formalizing my business a little bit. I did create an LLC, and I am going to be doing some more like standardized business
Practice, right?
Yeah, processes.
Yeah, processes.
I mean, I was doing it all before, but I was running it as a sole proprietorship. And
Right.
now I need to be more structured. I did buy, recycledgadgets.com domain name. You don't even want to know what I paid for it, but I bought it.
Oh, wow.
That's because you're building an empire.
I mean, in the scheme of things, as far as what it costs to capitalize a new business, it's not much, but I was so happy that I was able to
even get it. That's one thing.
Yeah.
So Chuck at recycledgadgets.com is a working email address.
If you have some leads, if you have some car parts that you want to get rid of,
or unopened
car parts or
unopened vintage underwear also.
Yeah.
Let's not forget.
I'll take it all.
Could we forget?
I'll take Hanes, I'll take Fruit of the Loom, whatever you got. Just bring it up. Just needs to be sealed.
Please.
Please.
Pretty please.
But yeah, so the domain name thing is hopefully will lead to some kind of website. I do need to do a lot more. Like I need to make some business cards that Ken, you said something about this earlier. I do need to make cards that I can use as
people,
lead
right?
behind.
This is what I'm buying. Yeah,
I'm buying these things, and I'm really trying to make the cards like I need to spend a lot of time making them feel safe and comfortable, and not like someone just people tend to like the idea that I'm recycling. Not even like as recycling as keeping it out of the landfill, as much as that a lot of people who have garage sales like to feel that the items that they sell
of course
are being repurposed,
or they wouldn't be having a yard sale. They would be like donating it or throwing it away,
or throwing it in a trash. It's kind of like it's a sustainability factor.
So I want to reflect that in the business cards and the other communications that I do. So I have a little work to do there. Maybe next time we talk, I'll have some more news around just hopefully I'll have some cool cards, and I'll have the business formalized a little more, and I'll have the minivan. And,
this is
if I get the minivan, we are definitely doing a road trip.
I was like, then we're back on immediately onto the podcast, so you can run down the specs of your minivan. This is so funny though, Chuck, because you don't even know about this, but because it hasn't been released yet as we're recording this, but in part A of this little series, we were talking to Kevin Reith of Seller Ledger, and we were talking about like literally all of these exact things: your business card, your own website, getting an LLC, and how those things are probably not for very first time beginners, because that kind of is the trappings of business, right? That kind of can make you feel like you're being productive, but they're not making sales. They're not finding customers. This is where the difference is, right? Because you've been doing this since the 90s. Like you are not a beginner seller.
I've been doing sole proprietorship the whole time.
Right. So sole proprietor, guys, works, and it's fine.
Yes.
You know, and also again, this is what Chuck's doing. He's going to the next level.
That's right.
So he's trying to
Perfect
get
example.
I need to start paying my son like actual payroll. So
Yeah.
payroll,
I have to do this. Like
Right.
Yeah.
just from
Right.
a tax reason, I
Yeah.
have to make it happen. So
Yeah.
Right.
that's why I am formalizing everything now. I got an accountant that specializes in this kind of work. I'm trying out. I don't know if you guys use what product you use for your bookkeeping, but I'm trying my reseller Genie to see if I like it. It seems
Yeah.
like a reasonable product, but you can just easily use QuickBooks or whatever you want to use, or a spreadsheet if you want.
Mhm.
Graph paper, I don't know, whatever.
Graph
Whatever
paper. Well,
works
we
for
both
you.
use Seller Ledger. That's why we love to talk
Seller
to Kevin about it.
Ledger.
Yeah.
I'll look at that one.
It's
I'm not
awesome.
married to any of them. I just need to find one that like makes sense to me.
Yeah. But again, like that was, you know, our whole episode with Kevin was about that stuff and like setting it up and tracking your expenses and all that. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's what Seller Ledger does. But
I'm gonna check it out
yeah,
immediately.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it is like really cool just knowing you all these years now. It's so cool to see you leveling up, looking at
Oh,
scaling,
thank you.
making it so official. And yeah, I can't wait to circle back with you. So it may not be 3 whole months from now, but I think it will be cool to look back and see, okay, where were you trying to take your business, you know, in Q1 of this year, and where are you now? So
Yeah.
so please check back in with us.
Earlier, you asked me about the sort of status of my business, and I shared that I had, when I was working for eBay, I had hit that $30,000 90-day mark, and I was so proud of myself. And so I'm on track. I think by the end of January, I think I'm going to hit 60 in my 90 days.
Double
Let's
So,
go.
yeah.
trouble.
I'm pushing hard. I'm trying to get it. The watches are really helping. I mean,
Yeah.
the AFP on the watch category is really high. So
yeah.
I'm hoping that
I'll
will
be
keep me
curious
on the top.
what your overall ASP is by then. I bet it won't be 20
Well,
bucks.
I'll tell you what, it might still be low because I'm having such high volume of CDs selling right now.
Mm.
And so this happens every year. During the holidays, I think people are getting for gifts record players and CD players and cassette players, like vintage ones.
Yeah.
And then in January, my media sales go off the chain. They're like
Wow.
completely ridiculous because I think people who got those devices now need media to put
Yeah.
in. And so yesterday I was out at an estate sale with my wife, and the whole time I'm in this house, my phone's like ching, 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 like just going off. And it's all record. It's
Rude.
record CDs just going nuts. I
Yeah.
probably had to turn my phone down. Because although, I mean, what a baller move is that, right? To
I
go into
know.
a estate sale with
Hey,
all these other
cha-ching, can I
retailers around
cha-ching,
you.
buy this? Cha-ching,
And
cha-ching,
your
cha-ching.
phone is like going off. You're making all these sales. That's a real intimidation factor, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
think
hilarious.
so. What you could actually even do is you could exclude certain items for ASP. That's what we do, like ASP on
Yeah. I think
clothing. or-
That's
yeah,
cheating.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I can, even with eBay's UI.
yeah. No, that's
you can do
that's masking. That's not cheating. Because like I could say like, oh,
masking.
That's
Yeah.
like saying it's not lying. It's just not telling the whole truth.
it's not the whole thing, the whole
It's
picture. My
lying by
A-
omission.
yeah, it's like yeah, because like I could drag down my ASP way lower if I just sold
Oh,
more
yeah.
socks.
Right.
You know, and it doesn't really matter because it's revenue at the end of the day.
Right.
But,
Yeah. That's
but
true.
for you, like, because you're
Yeah.
averaging your buy cost now. There you
maybe at least I'm planning to. We'll see.
go.
A lot
yeah.
of entries to do right now. So
So yeah, but I think that was a really cool conversation, and thank you, Chuck, for hopping in and chatting it up with us.
Thank you. It's been so nice to talk about reselling stuff with people again, and not just be sitting here by myself work on this business. I mean, my son and I work together, but he's
Right,
not
right.
a big. He doesn't like to pontificate on the
He's not as
ins and outs of
he's not as a
reselling business.
nerd. He's not much of a nerd.
when you guys start your Recycled Gadgets podcast, he might learn to pontificate a little bit.
There you go.
I also saw a cat walk through the background, so you've got company. I
Did
mean,
you?
at some point?
Yeah.
Not now, but
We've got
I talk
two
to
of
my
them.
cats all the time, so
Yeah, they come in and chat with me.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So, well, there you guys have it. Thank you for hopping in. And are we ending it already?
Yeah. Only 2 hours in. Probably should.
Yeah. And again, and
Wow,
again.
2 hours.
No, before we hop out, where can they follow your journey? Oh, we
For
gotta
sure.
plug. Here's my request. I think in 2026 we gotta see more of Instagram reels of some sort
I agree.
from the great Chuck Van Pelt. I mean, his IG reels, guys. If you haven't seen
They're
it.
hilarious and informative.
Yes.
That's been on my list of things to try to.
Or here's the
step
thing.
up on.
And my advice to everybody all the time, you don't have to create a content. You just have to document. Right? So whatever you're doing, Chuck, during the day, just like what I'm doing, I even just take a photo of what I eat, and that's a piece of content. That's how I could communicate and relate with other people. So
I love to time lapse all my reselling activities.
Yeah, so
people love a
time-lapse
time
is-
lapse.
I should do that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
and
easy.
There's so many good content opportunities happening around here all the
Right.
time.
yeah,
Right.
And I'm
and
just letting them fall on the floor.
so where can they follow you? As an Instagram, right?
Instagram on Recycled Gadgets.
Recycled Gadgets.
On if you go on eBay, you can see my store, Recycled Gadgets. Just search for
Okay.
that, and it
Yeah,
should come up, and you can see. I think I currently have, according to this, I have 4,859 items for sale, which seems low.
Wow.
You are beating me right now.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
Yeah.
So make sure you follow, give Chuck a follow, Recycled Gadgets on
Check
Instagram.
out my new watch category on.
Yeah, and then
For real.
follow his eBay store if you want to learn how to title better and take a photo better. We'll link to his store, and at the same time, shop from Chuck. Don't lowball him. Don't lowball him. All right.
I do love offers, but no, you don't have to buy anything. But I would love feedback from anyone who visits my store on just
there you
know
go.
if you think my listings look all right and what I can
Yeah.
do better.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anything else, Chuck? Anything else you want to tell everybody?
No, it's been a pleasure chatting with you guys as always, and I look forward to catching up again.
We'll do it. And don't forget to follow eBay for Sellers. Sell on eBay for sure. And also go check out Seller Ledger. We've, talked with them for part A of this series, and who knows, maybe we'll do some more fun beginner stuff, but it's been so awesome having you on, Chuck. Thanks again. And let's all just go out and get it, as Glenn would say.
All right. Peace.
Right now, this land is right. Ain't no shortcuts on a road like this. Just stay stacked up, trying not to miss. Every win came with a lesson learned. Every quiet season, money earned. Started unsure, kept showing up. Built it slow and it got tough. Full-time dreams don't happen fast. They're built to last, not built to flash. You don't need noise to prove your grind. Just clear moves and a steady mind. If you stay patient, play it straight, the work will meet you halfway. This is more than just a flip or sale. It's a long game done the real way. Learn the lane, stand your ground, build it solid brick by brick, year by year. This is Seller Club, real talk, real path. If you stay the course and trust the work, you'll look back proud of where you're at. Everybody's path don't look the same. Different stars, same hunger flame. Some went fast, some took time. Both crossed lines they never thought they'd find. Ask questions, listen close, borrow wisdom, earn your growth. The ones who last don't chase the wave. They build a life they're proud to save. If you're early, you're right on time. If you're tired, that's part of the climb. Keep it honest, keep it clean. You're closer now than you think.